You can save all that knocking, all that talking. Because we're going to check that credit score, and you're either going to get approved or denied. You can either take your dreams or you can take the distractions, but you can't take both. Welcome to the grind. Focus. It's oxygen.
All right, all right, all right. What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome to the grind. Welcome to the grind.
Someone having the upper hand in early rounds of a fight. Because they understand that this race is a marathon and not a sprint. Welcome to the grind. Discipline. It's a daily process of creating the life that you want. By consistently chiseling
What's
away
up, Princess?
things that don't belong.
What's up, Naja? What's happening? What's happening? What's up, Grinder? Share this out, man. Share this out. What's going on, Idris? Good to have you guys, man. Welcome to the grind.
As long as one is willing to be still mentally during the gestation period, circumstances are born out of a consciousness that allows them to exist. You will eventually inherit the outcomes equivalent to the belief system and mindset that you adopt. So let me sum it up. When an inner belief is consistently maintained, eventually the external environment adjusts to bring it about. To create a new life, one must shun the natural instinct to change the outside environment and instead turn inward. New life are built and formulated from within. This is the secret. This is what champions understand around here. Our ground is our ministry, and we witness every single day. Sometimes you gotta remind the world just who you are. Other times you gotta look in the mirror and remind yourself who you are. Kings don't talk to peasants. Because peasants, once spoken to, tend to foolishly start thinking they've actually done something worthy of being royalty. Welcome to the grind. Know your worth. Stop chasing people who don't appreciate you. Unless you control your mind, body, and emotions, the more the world will control you.
What's up? What's up? What's up, Trailer? See you, girl. What's happening? Tuning into the grind. What's going on, Felicia? Good to see you guys as always, man. Y'all know how we do it on the grind. All right, all right. We're gonna get this thing popping, man, right now. Share this out, share this out. Yeah, we got some stuff to talk about today.
Your present circumstances in order to qualify for your destiny. You're not living like a role model. You're here already. You gotta do every day to seize the moment. Talking to your success. It's just a long list of things done right. Your mind sows the dream. Your faith.
Success is just a long list of things done right. Man, I absolutely love it, man. Let me get everybody unmuted here. Let me get everything. Hold on. I want to make sure that I'm not getting any echoes here. Yeah, yeah. Hold on one sec. Hmm. All right. So I got an echo. Well, that means that my man Bishop Jeff Battle is on the mic with me. I got an echo. I don't know if that's your phone or not, my brother. Um, let's see. Let me try something. Probably your phone. Let me see.
I'm muted.
Okay. Still see an echo. That's all right. Let's do something different here. Hmm. All right. That echo gonna drive me crazy, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. That is not gonna work. Okay. It was me. How about that? How about that? All right. Let's see. Let me go back over here. I still hear it a little bit though. I think I hear it on your phone, brother. I think that's what it is. I don't know how that's happening because you are muted. But okay. All right. So let's just do this, brother. I'm hanging you up over here. All right. Yeah. So now I hear no echo. So we good to go. All right, y'all. We got all that. We got everything out of the way, man. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Grind, man. The realest show ever. You know what we do. We're gonna have some unscripted conversation this morning. We're gonna be real and raw, but we're gonna be tasteful with it. We're gonna talk about some things on this show that some people ain't gonna like, ain't gonna agree with. But guess what? We're also gonna talk about some things on this show that people gonna absolutely love, and more importantly, you're going to be able to apply it to your life, right? You're going to be able to just drop it on something, some aspect of your life, and get some relief, right? So we can't please everybody, but we aim to please somebody. So, man, we want to thank you guys for dialing into the Grind, man, this morning. Man, I'm sitting up here with my main man, the man, my best friend in the world, just so y'all know. This guy right here holds a special place in my heart. Been through a lot together, talk about a lot, bridge a lot of gaps together. And the good thing about it is we help each other bridge gaps, right? So, the leader always needs somebody to feed into him, so we're that for each other. So I want to give him a proper introduction. But before I do that, I want you guys to go ahead and share this out. We're gonna be talking about some things on this show, man. That's gonna absolutely set some people free. Absolutely, right? We're gonna be talking about some real stuff on this show that you guys are not gonna want to miss. All right, so share this out, guys. We're on YouTube. We're on Blog Talk Radio. We are on Facebook. The only platform we're not on is Instagram, but the Instagrams can come over here to Facebook today, right? So, man, let's get this thing popping because I don't want to prolong it. We got some stuff to get into, man. I had the honor and the privilege of bringing this gentleman on. I talked to him the other day, and I said, man, it would be awesome if I could get you to come on the Grind and bless, man, the Grind audience with your wisdom and your knowledge and just your real insight on things that are going on just in general. And of course, he said absolutely. I'll be honored to be a part of the Grind, the realest show ever. Because we're gonna keep it 100. So he agreed to come on, guys, and so I was, I felt awesome leading up to the day because I know what this gentleman stands for. I know who he is. I know what his message is, and hope you guys got some pen and paper because you're gonna definitely want to be able to write some things down. And I appreciate you guys saying hello today, man. I appreciate that. Hey, what's going on, Jennifer? Some of you guys are undercover agents. You ain't saying that when you come on the mic, but that's okay. I understand. The witness protection program is real. No problem at all. So here's the thing, man. The gentleman that you guys see sitting in front of you right now on Facebook, Blog Talk, guys, if you want to be a part of this, dial into Facebook, dial into YouTube, just go on Nathan McCray 1, go on Pam McCray 1. Pam is not with us today because she is, she's still getting preparations together, for the passing of her father. So she's still dealing with a lot of that right now, guys. But she is good. The services this weekend, and and we'll get all of that behind us. And heaven would have gained the saint is already there. We're just mourning for ourselves right now. But guys, she'll be back next week in full effect. But until that, who I have on with me today, guys, is I'm gonna make sure I get this right because I talk to him every day, but I don't want the danger of familiarity, to get me because I talk about it all the time, right? So this gentleman, guys, he is a self-made multimillionaire. He is a bishop, as you guys can see on the screen. Man, he's owned his own companies. He started companies. Man, he's helped countless and countless amounts of people do the same, as well as help them. That's why he's so fitting for this show. He is also the creator and the host of a show called The Cup, Conversations with Uncompromised Pastors, right? Awesome show, kind of like this one, raw, real, unscripted, man. And they really go into things and they walk you through things through the scriptures, but it's related to real life, which makes this union, this partnership right here so special, right? So, this gentleman, like I said, self-made multimillionaire, the author of a book called Church in Compromise, right here, guys. I happen to have a hard copy of it in front of me right now. Guys, I got the soft copy too. I'm gonna show you guys, he's gonna tell you guys how you can get this book here in a moment. We're gonna get into some of this also. Amazing book for all of y'all. This is the realest show ever. So let's just do it. For all of y'all that are wondering why some of the things are going on in the quote unquote church these days, and you don't understand some things, you're like, that didn't really feel right. I don't know how to process that. What happened here? This was good. This was not good. Guys, the answers are right here. Okay. So all right. He's going to explain what this book is. But guys, again, I want to bring him on because, he's a special guest and I want to let him address you guys. Bishop Jeff Battle is live and on the grind with us this morning. What's going on, Bishop?
Hey, man. Thank you. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you, brother. I hear you. Everybody out there can hear you.
Man, good morning on the West Coast, everybody, and good afternoon to the East Coast listeners. God bless you, and thank you for the opportunity to be on. Truly a privilege today. I feel honored, more than beyond, honored to be on today, man, and take this time to be with the group that you have together, man. I look and I listen to you guys and on a regular basis, and you truly are the realest show ever, man.
Absolutely, brother. I appreciate that. Yeah. No, definitely. I appreciate that. And, and I appreciate your listenership, man. And I know that everybody after hearing this, I know because of everything that has happened with, the pandemic and everything, I know the Cup has been out of commission for a few weeks.
Yes.
But it's getting ready to pop back off. So you guys got to make sure he'll tell you how to get in on that as well. So Bishop, man, let's jump into this because we talk about so many, talk about so many things. And for those of you that don't know, and it shocks people when I tell them, not shocks, but, people aren't accustomed to hearing it. For those of you that don't know, Bishop Battle is one of the first Black Navy SEALs, to come out, guys. So you guys, know exactly what the discipline and what the commitment is. And everything that he does. So, and I get the opportunity to glean from that, every day. So, I want to jump into some of the things that we talked about and get into some of the things in his book, right? Don't worry. Yeah, you're going to get it. You're going to get it. You're going to have to pay for it, though. You're going to get this book, but you're going to have to pay for it. Let me show you how to get it here in a minute, right? So everything that's going on, right? Everything that's going on in the world today, man, I gotta say it's a lot, but guess what? None of it should be surprising to you, right? Because if we're all quote unquote spiritual beings, and we are, you already know that a lot of things that are happening, everything that's happening has been prophesied to happen that way. And I don't want to bust anybody's bubble, but things are gonna get worse before they get better, right? So you guys know. So it's all about how you process it. How are you processing the things that are happening? How are you fitting into it? How are you thriving in it? And when you see something happening in your life and in everybody else's life, how do you process it? Because we say that life is 10% what happens and 90% how you handle what happens. So I'm going to jump into one of the things that we talked about earlier. Yesterday and the day before yesterday, because I'm not a big news guy, right? I don't even have cable in my house, right? I just have Netflix and things like that, the web services. So I'm kind of really out of touch, and that's kind of twofold for me. The first part of it is I didn't get cable because they wouldn't come in the house to do it when all it kicked off, right? So the second part of it is we don't really watch the news like that a lot because, in my opinion, there's just a lot of bad things happening on the news. And I like to govern what comes into my ear gates, what comes into my eye gates, my ear gates, what comes in and, goes out of my mouth. That's what's coming in. So I just like to keep things that I author in there, but I don't want to be out of touch. So every now and then I'll jump on and I'll check out what's going on in the news, just not constantly in my ear, right? But Bishop was telling me about something the other day, and I was sitting there listening to him as he was talking about it, because we were talking about things that are happening in the world and things of that nature. He asked me, had I heard about the I think it's the dust cloud, right? The dust cloud coming from the Sahara. And I said, no, I haven't. How many of y'all heard about the dust cloud coming out of the Sahara? And, if you have, then say, yeah, I have, because I had not. I did not know. But that doesn't say anything, because there's a lot of things that I did not know that's happening, right? That I'm being enlightened on. So, when he talked to me about that, I heard he was saying that the dust cloud is basically picking up, is going where it's going, and it's not losing any mass. But it's what he threw me was when he said it was moving over water. And I was like, hold on. I was like, how does that happen? How does dust move over water? I didn't understand that. And so I'm gonna bring Bishop on, because Bishop, can you kind of break down not only what this is, but what you feel the significance of what this really means?
Oh man, for me, how my mind works, sir. When we look at this thing, as it moved, as you said, and it tells you it moved over from the Mediterranean, over the Atlantic and the Caribbean, to reach the coast of Florida, Texas, and all of that. For me, for something to take a mass up, dust to take that kind of mass, the thing you have to understand is, like you said, for it to move over water makes it special. Now it starts getting to a point where it's beyond scientific understanding at that point. We just can't make a natural reasoning for it. So my mind takes me back. The first thing I start thinking about, man, I go back to Genesis, when God created us, in chapter 1, he made man. In chapter 2, he created man. And when he created him, he didn't become legal, as you say, until he was inside of a dirt body.
Mm-hmm.
And so the reality is, now when you think about the things that went on, you look at the condition of the world and the situation we sit in now. One thing you got to keep in mind, it's gotten everything that Sodom and Gomorrah had is kind of going on right now, and we're accepting it. Mm-hmm. And so the reality is, what did God say? He said, I have to go down there to see, for I can see personally what's going on. Well,
y'all listen, because I didn't know this. Y'all listen. I didn't know that God said I got to go down there to see. Some of y'all Bible scholars knew that. I did. Go ahead.
It's in the book, sir. And so as he came down, we look at that, because things were so bad. But in order to be on earth, a spirit has to be wrapped in a dirt body. Even when Jesus cast the demons out of the demon-possessed man, they said, can we go in the swine over here? They needed a dirt body to be in, to be able to exist on earth. Just like when we go out in space, we need a spacesuit to conceal ourselves in. And so the reality is, it's the same thing here on earth. There, that's the how it functions. So anyway, from my perspective, when I saw this cloud moving across, and not only in Sodom and Gomorrah, but God also came down when he came to the temple with Ezekiel and walked him through and asked him, do you see all these things going on? And so he has had to come down a few times, because things had gotten so out of hand. And I think we're at an extreme right now when things are so out of hand that it looked like, to me, my perspective, and again, this is just my perspective, when I see something like that, is it becomes supernatural to be able to wrap itself inside of a dirt, as you say, a blast. They called it Godzilla, is what they nicknamed it. It's Godzilla, to wrap itself in a dirt form and travel across the three oceans. You're going across the Mediterranean, the Atlantic, and the Caribbean, and reaching the coast. But as it goes, it's saying that it's dropping so much dust behind that it's affecting people with respiratory systems and all of that. My point is, how does it keep its mass and constantly drop dust off? Right. If it's something natural, it has to be, to me, a supernatural move. And I just think it's something to aware us and alert us to understand. God is saying, I'm moving through this thing trying to find out, see what's going on. I want you to understand the signs. And I think we're in that place. All this teaching and preaching we've gotten all our lives and spent all this time in church all of our lives. The preachers have preached the Bible inside and out. Now it's time that now all those things they've been talking about, it's time to, to put up now. It's time to get in and say, what did you learn? And even when the COVID-19 came in and all these things, everybody's running around trying to figure it out. You said something very powerful when you started the show. You said that, the 10% versus the, was it 20%, 80%, life, 90%. There you go. I like that. I wanted you to say it again so I could steal it, write it down. But but the point is, man, the reality is that we need to understand now what it is. It's time to live and see those things coming into fruition. It's how we respond to it. Mm-hmm. That's what we have to do. That 90% is how we respond. And I don't see us responding because we're still confused because we heard it, but we didn't understand it. And that's when Jesus taught in parables himself, because you're supposed to be able to think deeper and get it. The Bible says, let them that have an ear, let them hear. And so we have to get to the point where we have to notice and understand where we are in these times. And I think we're missing it in a big way. And so that's my perspective of what's happening.
No, I love it. And when I heard your perspective, I was like, it makes perfect sense to me, simply because, everybody looks at it in the realm of, okay, there's a dust cloud and I can't explain it. Right. If typically somebody's going to put something scientific to it. Well, it's traveling across the ocean because the ionosphere in the ocean is holding it up. And there's always going to be some sort of a scientific explanation for it. But when it confounds the minds of man, there's something that God is doing, right? So when you look at a dust cloud traveling over, and when we said the other day, you said God he's omniscient, he's omnipresent. He can be anywhere he wants to be in spirit. And we see it kind of through people. God does deeds through people and things of that nature. But when to see something like a dirt cloud, not just, you see it going over to the Sahara is one thing, right? Just like, oh, that's the desert. That's where dirt is. Right. But when you see it going over water, you have to believe that there's something significant happening. And I think the significant aspect of what happening is God is basically saying, just like you said, I had to come down and see this for myself. I could have did that in any way, but I had to do it in an anomaly so that that it was me, which is synonymous of every miracle that he's done. There's no disputing that it had to be God that was creating what was being created. So when you see the significance of what's happening, you're like, man, it's not so much as the message isn't the dust cloud.
That's right.
Right. That's right. The message is how you process what the dust cloud is and what it's doing, right? Mm-hmm. What the significance of the dust cloud is. So it's, as I said, it's always 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you respond. So when you see it, do you see it and just not learn anything from it? You just say, oh, that was a dust cloud. This is an amazing earth we live on, right? Or do you see it in the context of everything that's happening in the world today, right? All of the pandemic, and we've lost a lot of people, a lot of loved ones from COVID. And that's a lot of people, a lot of us that in the beginning were like, this is just another one of those things, that they're putting out there. And it kind of like now it's out of hand. It's pandemic. It's all over the world. And you said yourself, Bishop, you say, you got to stand up and take note when it affects the world. You really have to plug into it and take note to what's going on and take the precautions. And there's so many things that are happening. We even talked about the athletics, all the football and basketball. When are they going to come out? And then you're informing that they got them in a bubble right now. You get in the bubble, you're tested before you get in, you're in it. And then if you leave the bubble, you're out of the bubble, right? If anything happens in the bubble, anybody comes in the bubble is not supposed to be there, then it's a wrap. The whole thing the gig is up, right? So the bubble is supposed to be that place where everything is sterile or sacred or safe, right? And, in these trying times, Bishop, we have to find, I always used to use it in the context of a mountain, right? And when a dust storm is coming through or anything's happening in mountains, you've got those little spaces that go in and come back out. You gotta find your space in that mountain, in that little cleft of that mountain, and back into it while things are happening. Find your safe spot, your bubble, right? On how you protect you. And you got to get the right message out to people, right? So these are times when things are saying, okay, this is your moment to actually assess where you are and what you're doing. We got all this time to spend with each other, with by yourselves, right? We're locked in the house, or at least we're supposed to be in the house majority of the time, right? But some people are not, right? Some people just out doing whatever they want to do the way they want to do it. But the thing is that we're in the house now, right? So this is the prime time to work on you. You're in a bubble, right? You're in the bubble. And since we're in this bubble, this is where you get your strength from, right? This is how you process things and say, okay, this is happening. Not even so much as in the world, because that's going on outside of the bubble. I just believe, Bishop, that this is a time when God is telling us to assess who we are, right?
Yeah.
Assess what's going on in your individual lives. And on this show, we always talk about the 3 percenters, which is mind, body, and money. And the spirit aspect of it is we're all spirit, right? Everybody in this earth is a spiritual being. We're filled with spirit. That's how we got life. So when we look at this thing, we want to make sure our mind is right, right? You get your mind right. That means, how do you process things, right? So I want to stay on that for a moment, Bishop, and let you come in, because I'm very, very big on mindset. And, I believe the mindset precedes everything.
Oh, yeah. Well, amazingly, as you say that about getting ourselves together, the reality is, man, we have to first and take this time that you're left with now, having to deal with you. We use so many other distractions throughout our day. We would go out, we go to work, or wherever we're going, we're dealing with people all day that distract us from having to deal directly with ourselves. We're able to look at other people's actions, reactions, or how they are operating, and we look and process those, neglecting our own, issues and situations. But this has you in a point where you have time, as you said, to deal with yourself. And if you're going to deal with you, the point is you'll realize most of the time there's some things about me that I need to make adjustments to, need to change. And you have to almost, I think you treat yourself almost like an email account. You look at your life, man, and you have to go back and, you leave space for the things that's important. Instead of getting rid of some messages, we'll put them in folders. I say this over here, I might need that later, or I might, have a place for that later. And we're still taking up space that's needed for the things that's taking us to the next level. But we can't do it because we're hindering ourselves because of things we don't want to let go. We're very hesitant to hit the delete button on something. We'll look at it 8, 9 times. Well, I guess I can delete it. Well, if I delete it, I got the security of knowing that it's going to the delete box and not really leaving. So it's
not permanently going yet, right?
Exactly. So reality is we give ourselves that perspective as if it was deleted, knowing I can go back and get it. But we have to get real definite in who we are and what we do. And getting definite in it is to be able to go to the delete box and delete everything in that, and be able to do it with confidence, because those things that we struggle to delete ends up coming back, resurfacing, causing us the same issues it caused us the first time when we should have deleted it. And we hold on to things that continue to affect our lives negatively because we don't disconnect from them. And if we learn to disconnect from some things, it's a difference, Nate, in disconnecting and being able to be distracted. We allow things, we put it away. We'll let something distract me from this, that I don't focus on it right now, and I go on, but then it resurfaces later. And now I got to go through that same thing all over again because I failed to make the adjustments in my life. And one of the things that I find that in our human experience, man, that we struggle with is, and I think it's people say it for whatever, but I call it a weakness. It's at some points in life is that sentimental value. Things we give I'm holding on to it because it has a sentimental value to me. Like, really, what is that? To the point of, is it going to bear fruit in my life? Is it going to be prosperous or fruitful for me, or to be able to share with someone else? That experience is the only thing I really need to hold on to. It's going to teach me one way or the other. But we hold on to the thing is, I can hold on to to the experience of the person and disconnect from the person.
Come on.
Just because you need that was a teaching experience, they need to really hold on to them. You know what I'm saying? Come on in, man.
Yeah, no. Well, you just said a mouthful right there, because you just solved a lot of issues, a lot of challenges with people. Because you're right. What you said at the very end is, it's easy, for you to learn. You learn the lessons that you learn, but you don't. It's like if a dog bites you, right? We always say dogs should never bite the hand that it feeds. Right? When a dog bites you, that don't mean y'all didn't have some good times together. Y'all had some great times together. He let you rub him, pet him, and he licked you in the face, whatever, But now he done bit you now, right? He done bit you, and he keep biting you. You're gonna just keep him around because y'all had some good times together. And I use that as an extreme analogy for all y'all people out there that are dog lovers. I like dogs too. Okay, so y'all don't send me no bad emails. Okay, but at the end of the day, right, you have to apply that to your life. You have to apply that to your life. Yeah, go ahead, Bishop.
Let me ask you this on that. That's a great point, Nate, because you think about it. The dog will bite you and you'll keep giving him another chance. But if he growls at your baby, he got to go now. And that's the amazing part of how we will continue to take ourselves and continue to repeat and put ourselves in situations we shouldn't.
Right. Yeah. But we keep doing it, but that's the self piece.
Right. Exactly.
We get real protective for everybody else around us, but we forget to build self. But then what happens, Bishop, is people start saying, "Oh, well, don't be selfish. You're just thinking about you, And it gets real for me. This part gets real intense, Bishop, because I know why I was put here. I've discovered my passion. My passion is helping other people discover their passion. Right? It's helping people discover who they are. Sometimes you got to back up in order to figure that thing out. But let's move you from the back now to where you were so we can move you to the front, right? Or in this case, to the top, right? Where you were intended to be. So when we look at everything that's happened, you said, when you bite my baby, you got to get out of here. But you got bites all over your arm, and you've allowed, let's bring this thing around to people, right?
Come on.
We're talking about flesh and blood people now, right?
Yes,
so you got people in your life, right? That this is pre-bubble. This is pre-bubble stuff here. You got people in your life that are doing that aren't helping you grow. If it's not helping you grow, then it's causing you to stand still, right? I'm gonna say that again. If it's not helping you grow, it's causing you to stand still. Yes. So we allow those exterior forces to be a part of our life. And what they do is what you said earlier, Bishop, it distracts us from focusing and working on us, right? On you. If you're not willing to get rid of the distractions, as Bishop said, hit that delete button and then go over and empty that folder, right? And so when you empty it out, you empty that folder, that means anybody that comes in your life at that point, they're going to have to create a new memory, right? They got to bring something new to the table, right? Because the definition of insanity, we all know, is doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result. So when you get all the insanity out of your life, now you're able to get in this bubble, guys. Now you put yourself in this bubble, and now you can work on you. Does that mean, would that mean I don't help anybody else? Nate, no. You helping you is probably the greatest form of helping other people, right? Yeah. That you can do. Because if you're a mess, we call it, I've said this before, guys, we call it being house broke, right? You got a nice house, look good on the outside, right? When you walk outside the door, everybody's like, oh, yeah, such and such is they the bomb. They got it going on. But when you walk in the house, you have no furniture, you got no curtains, you barely got food in the fridge, right? Your lights are off, water's turned off, everything is desolate in your house because you've neglected you. And you're empty, You haven't filled it up with anything. There is no passion. There's no fire there. You haven't even determined what your true passion is, right? If you want to uncover your purpose, right? If you want to discover your purpose, you're going to have to uncover your passion, right? That's how you do that. There's no way that you can get to your purpose without finding out what your passion is, because your passion is these little lines on your thumb, right? That's different than everybody else's. God gave you a different one. Wow. And some of you guys haven't discovered your purpose yet, because you've never uncovered your passion, because you've been distracted, as Bishop said, for so long, and you've been living outside of the bubble that God created for you to be in, for you to get better, for you to grow.
Man, you know, as you say that, Nate, if you think about it, man, the originality, and that's the point, is you wanting to be original. Society has us so inundated into how it is that we walk with the proclivity of wanting to pattern ourselves be like someone else. We don't take time, you know, like you said, it even goes biblical when you talk. It's not selfishness, it's instructions. It's when you call it biblical instruction, and it says to you, it says, you know, how it says about your house, get your house in order.
Right.
It says, how are you going to tend to something else if your house is out of order? That means you have to get you together. Now, when you're taking a together you to a place, you're taking a whole different perspective. Not only are you giving people, you're getting experiences, you're giving people an experience of who you really are. Yeah. A lot of us find out, man, that we've patterned ourselves after so many people all of our lives that people never really got to know the real you, and you deprived them of something because there's something special in you because you are an original.
Right. They didn't get to know the real you because you don't know the real you.
Exactly. You know, and we've patterned ourselves with so many different things. And like I said, I can encounter someone like you. You can tell me, man, look, I've been able to achieve all these things and I've accomplished this and that. You know, my thing is not to the point where I have to become Nathan McCray. What I want to get from Nathan McCray is the inspiration off of all the things that he's accomplished. I need to accomplish what God has for me to accomplish. But the reality is I'm taking it too far to try to now I want the stuff Nathan McCray has. You know, or I want this. No, I need to thrive off that inspiration that he shared. That testimony he gave me should be able to take me to the next time, because I look at motivation comes into perspective. You can see it and it's like, wow, this is good. I would love to have. You keep yourself in that posture and you're going to always be the one that would love to have. But you have to get to a point where if your situation is that much better than mine, it's another part of I like to say motivation. I call it hostile motivation.
Hostile motivation.
To the point where it penetrates who I am. It awakens something in me to say, you know what? I know I can really have the same type of things. Now I need to stir up what's in me and be able to become the real me and see what God has for me. And you know, that's because if he tells us in the scripture, there's no respect of person, then that's saying that it's nothing that I can't accomplish. It's nothing that I can't do if I just got to get to the point and get into my right self. Right. Because see, God he's consistent. He said he changes not, Nate. So the point is, I can't bless you with the things I got for you if you're not being who I created you to be.
See that, boy, we can preach a whole sermon on that one right there. And I know you already have, right? So, but guys, this is what you guys are hearing is really, this is a lesson in you figuring out who you are, right? You heard Bishop talk about motivation and inspiration. Motivation lasts for a moment. Inspiration can last you for a long time, right? Mm-hmm. So there's a whole bunch of cliches that we can throw out there for you guys. But there comes a time when you got to take these cliches and understand that I need to apply them to my life, right? How are you affecting people? We're so concerned about how we're affecting everybody else, how everybody views this from the outside looking in, but we're not concerned about how we affect us. How do you affect you? Because everything that happens to you, everything that comes out of your mouth, you hear it first. You hear it twice. You hear it subconsciously and then you hear it verbally, right? So
Yeah.
it's audible in the subconscious. So you're saying it to you twice, saying it to everybody else once, but you're still not getting it,
Yeah.
right? You're still not working on you. You're still not trying to grow. And some of you guys have gotten this since this whole pandemic thing has hit. And some of you are working on your mindset, right? You're working on your mindset because that's why we spend so much time on mindset, because nothing else matters if your mindset isn't right, right? If you don't have the proper mindset, and then you make sure that you don't put anybody in between you and the source, right? You and the source. The only person that gets that is Jesus, right? Because he did what he did. You can't put anybody in between that. That's a sacred place, right?
Yeah.
So Bishop, I was reading this book, and I confess I read the first chapter of it, and then it got very it got very, very deep for me. It got into something that I really don't really believe in. But I don't say I don't believe in it, but yeah, I just a lot of action. I believe in action, right? I don't know if you've read. It's called the Moses Code.
No, I haven't.
So the book, and I'm gonna get a little deep for you guys a little bit, right? Then we're gonna get into body, right, and money. I read this book, the first chapter of it, and it really got deep because it started to talk about all of the miracles that were done for Pharaoh to let God's people go, right? And everything that was done, Moses even doing what he did, fled, was gone. I think it was like 40 years, right, Bishop?
Mm-hmm.
He was gone for like 40 years, right? And came back, and but before he came back, there was something significant that happened in his life, right? It was the burning bush experience.
Right.
And the burning bush, where God said, "Take your shoes off. This is the ground that you stand on is holy." And he says, he talked to Moses. He said, "Who do I tell him?" He says, "I am that I am." Right. And it got deep for me because at that moment I agree 100% on what was being said, because the I am part of it and the holy ground, what God has said, and this is how I interpret it, was wherever you go when you represent me is holy ground. Right. So he said, "I am that I am." So the I am part is the empowering part. And you guys know how we work, right? We always say, what are your I ams? What are your I am this? I am that. I am more than a conqueror. I'm rich. I'm humble. I'm this. I'm that. I'm all over the place doing all these I am things, right? But where's your power coming from? Right? Your power to say I am is coming from I am, the connection between the two, right? So I am because I am, essentially, if I break it down that way. So now when you're looking at how this works, we get into anything other than that kind of gets into the name it and claim it type stuff. And I'm not a name it and claim it dude, right? I'm like, you got to name it, you can claim it, but you got to go out and work for it, right? You got to put in some work. You're going to name it and claim it and get on the couch with a Coke and an Oreo cookie and be like, okay, I'm good. I named it, claimed it, it's mine. Come on, right? You got to get out and work. And I think most of the people in the free world kind of understand that, right? But when we look at that experience that happened over there, and we look at the following sequence of events that happened after that, then we're like, wow, that was power. That was very convincing. And even in that, Pharaoh said, you know what, forget this. I can't do anything without them. I got to get them back. So he went to try to get them back, but he lost his life. And I think it's synonymous, Bishop, to what we're talking about, because we're talking about discovering who we are. We're talking about discovering our purpose. But in order to do that, we got to uncover our passion. And there's some things that people that you guys got to do that is going to help you do that. So we call it white noise, getting rid of all of the white noise and not worry about what people are saying and what people think about what you do, because they don't know your purpose yet. And to be quite honest with you, you don't know your purpose yet.
Right. Question for you, sir. I just to add to what you're saying. Let's stick with those Israelites as Moses freed them, as you say, knowing who you are, and after he freed them, and the Red Sea was parted, and they got to the other side, and they continued to find out. And Moses, this time he went up to where you were talking about. He stayed a little long this time. So when he stayed too long, they're like, we don't know what happened to this dude Moses. So let's get together and build a calf together. After all God continued to do for them, and then after it says they wandered for 40 years and still never made it to the promised land because of the fact they never realized who they were. What they kept missing the fact, sir, that the wilderness was supposed to be something they hated. They weren't supposed to like the wilderness, but they were supposed to be able to see the hand of God in it. And so when we're going through, we can't let our circumstances delete us from ever meeting our purpose. It stops us from getting to the next level because we keep looking at the circumstances. As you know, man, at the end of every month show, let your faith exceed your circumstances. And the reality is that, man, because we will lose ourselves in the circumstance. And we don't never know that if we don't lose ourselves, God created us strong enough to get through any circumstance. Right. But we keep losing to the circumstance. We can't win to the next level. We can't win prosperity. We can't win the power of the I am outside of losing it to the circumstance. And that's but the only way to defeat the circumstance is to come into an understanding who you are.
Come on. I am that I am.
Yes, that, and the I am, the fact of saying, you know what, I am aware of whose I am. Then the second I am is, and I walk in his power. Right. We'll say, you've heard coming up all your life, well, I'm Holy Ghost, fire baptized, Holy Ghost filled, fire baptized. Well, if you're Holy Ghost filled and all of these things, then, it breaks down to two things. The Bible says when the Holy Spirit come upon you, you receive power. Well, what is power? It translates in the Greek to dunamis and exousia, authority and ability. And so now I have the authority and the ability to do these things. I keep saying I walk in this power, but I let every circumstance that face me defeat me. You can't walk in the power and say you're walking in it and stay defeated. You'll run into afflictions along the way. The path will get a little rough, but the Bible tells us that, these light afflictions only last for a moment. And if I understand who I am, I'll know that this ain't here long. I can't let it defeat me because I know who I am. And that's what it goes back to. And I'm going to shut up. But the big part of what you're saying is when you can say I am, that says I know who I am.
I know who I am.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, I want y'all to get this. Write that down. When you say I am, you're saying I know who I am. Right. Yes. From there, you should, if you know who you are, the power that infills you. Nothing. I heard people say, Bishop, all the time, God will never put more on us than we can bear. Right.
That's not even scripture, right?
I'm gonna let you get that one. Go ahead.
Well, that's the one, man. We call it a scripture in the Bible. It's a scripture that kind of alludes to it, but it doesn't say that. Right. The reality is that God is saying that if I've given you, it's in the Bible says we seek so much stuff outside of him, but he tells us he's already given us everything pertaining to life and godliness. We already have it. But the point is you can't get it until you know who you are. You don't know what you have till you know who you are. Well, the point is he doesn't put more on you. The reality is that most of the stuff we put on us, that to the point is we put it on ourselves.
Right.
And the reality is that God doesn't put those things on you. He said, cast your burdens on the Lord. He will sustain you. He won't allow the righteous to be moved. The reality is this. He's saying that take my yoke is easy. My burden is light. And everything that goes toward that, God ain't burdening you down. He's just telling you, remember, I gave you everything you need to get through this situation. I've already given you the victory. Stop giving it over. Did you lose me? Oh, man. Did you lose me? Can you hear me, Nick? Hello?
Let me go to the stream. I'm here now. You hear me?
Gotcha.
All right. I don't know. We froze and came back. My whole internet connection kind of went out. Look, that means you saying something good, brother.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, man, I was just trying to bring it in to the point that I just want us, man, when we know who we are, we'll stop claiming something that we're not. When we say I am, I'll believe that I am that, and it manifests itself, and so because we often, when you don't know who you are, you doubt yourself. And then in any arena in the world, a little doubt is unbelief. And the Bible said you have to believe in order to be that thing. And so, just going around what I said, I don't want to take up a lot more time with that, but the reality is, man, that we allow people to dictate to us and tell us what your purpose should be, what you should do, how you should operate. And if somebody's constantly telling you that and you've never taken it on yourself, if they're telling you, please let it only be confirmation.
Right.
It can't be just new information to you. It has to be a confirmation. And if it's not a confirmation, then that's not who you are. That's not what you were purposed to do, because God has put that instinct in you if you just give into it. And so that's the part. And I talk about this stuff and what we were talking about earlier, Nate, is because the reality is not knowing who you are, and it lands you in rough places. I'm not just saying it because I think it's good information. I'm saying it because I've experienced it myself. I've tried to, even when running business, I tried to run business like somebody else ran their business and made me lose it all.
Right.
I lost it all because I was trying to do it like someone else. But now when you find out, if you do it like you, and you said something to me when we talked one time before, you was like, man, it's because of the person you are that you get these opportunities. It's because of the person you are that people give you this and give you that. And that's what it's all about. But the reality is a lot of people don't get to that next level because they won't let nobody know who they are.
Right. They won't let nobody know who they are because they don't know who they are themselves. Right. I think that's the first piece of it that we have to realize, I love what you said, Bishop. You said it should be confirmation, right? And the confirmation should come from the connection. Yes. Right. You got it. If you're connected, right? Some of your plug, I don't know nobody on here, none of y'all, right? Some of your plugs may be halfway out of the socket, right? And you wonder why everything is kind of fidgety. So you got to plug it the rest of the way in and get that complete connection. And once you get that, then things become more clearer for the confirmation. And the confirmation piece of it for you may be different than it is for me, right? For me, when something sounds good to me, it feeds my spirit, man. First, I get chills. I start getting goosebumps all over. I get this feeling of just this shiver all over me. And that's just my way of saying, oh, this is good. I'm gonna take this right here. I'm gonna write this down. I need to apply this. This is a God been telling me this, but I ain't been doing this. Is confirmation, right? But that's just me. And it's also what you just said. Also, Bishop, is when people get it for themselves, it's because they know who they are. They know what this thumbprint really means.
That's right.
That means now you know who you are. You know your purpose because you've uncovered your passion, right?
Yes, sir. Wow.
Now you got this thing all intact. So now you can now you've been making these small course corrections, right?
Yes.
You're a Navy man, Bishop, so you already know that when a yacht, y'all call them a yacht, destroyer, or a boat, I don't know, a ship. There you go.
It's a ship, bro.
It's out in the ocean. It makes small course corrections the entire time that it's out there, right? If the waves get a little big and it knocks it up, it comes back on course. Well, there comes a time in your life where you have to realize that maybe all of those small course corrections that you should have made in the right direction, they were being made in the wrong direction, right? Yes. So now you discover, right? So you got to back up and uncover and discover what's happening. Now you discover that you're going the wrong way. Right. So now you got to decide, am I going to make a whole bunch of series of small course corrections, or am I going to try to make larger course corrections? Now, that's going to depend on you, because when I find out that I'm going the wrong way, then I'm going to try to swing that boat around. because the quicker I get back on course, the better off it's going to be, right? So we call that sometimes flipping the switch. Go ahead, Bishop.
But in that, you got to make sure as you make that correction, you got to make sure you realize as you're making the correction, what allowed you to make that mistake the first time, so you don't repeat it in just a different direction. Right. And so, and then in talking here, man, just this piece here that I continue to think about is when I told you, when I was doing business before, I was trying to do business like everybody else, do it the way they were doing it. And, and I crashed and burned on that. Then in the correction of it all, I come back and now I see what you do. I saw what you were doing and I saw how prosperous what you doing was. So now do I get to that place in my mind? Do I jump on board and say, hey, I want to do what you're doing because it's very prosperous. But in my mind is saying, I say all the time, no, I can't do that because I'm something, God has me somewhere else. Right. And that's not what it is that I know I'm supposed to be doing. I'm not going to let the prosperity of it turn me away from what I'm purposed to do. Mm-hmm. And so now as I stuck to who I was, because I would tell you all the time, that's just not me. Right. I would say that you give me the look and everything, but I'm like, that's just not me. But the thing was, as I stayed committed to what I knew I should be headed, where I should head it, then God started prospering me over where I was, right. In the same perspective. And I find so much peace. It's no strain. And the Bible says the blessings of the Lord maketh rich, but addeth no sorrow to it. If you feel you're blessed and you still struggling with trying to be blessed, then that ain't God. Right. He didn't push you in that situation because he addeth no sorrow to it. I don't have to strain to do what I do every day. But for some other people, they might find it a strain or a hassle to do it. But I do it with ease because I'm in the vein. I know who I am and I know what I'm capable of. So I do it with confidence. And that confidence breeds, success, in whatever it is that you're doing. But it goes all the way back to establishing this is who I am. I'm not going to let, what somebody else do try to make me change who I am. But I got to give myself that opportunity. I got to give myself the opportunity to learn me, to learn what it is that I love, that I want to do. And so that's all in finding yourself. Just wanted to share that a little bit.
No, that's good. That's good. I mean, and knowing who you are causes you to make the right decisions because
that's right.
You start making those corrections in your life. As you just said, you did a lot of things wrong. And I raised my hand. I did a lot of things wrong too. And I try not to do things wrong now. Right. And nobody's perfect. But when you start making the corrections, it means you learn the lesson. Right. You can't make the correction until you learn the lesson. Right. Yes, yeah. So as you're doing that, now you're making the correction. And Bishop was talking about, what his thumbprint is and how he actually moves forward based on his passion. Right. What is your passion? Some of the things that you do may just be a vehicle that takes you towards your passion. Mm-hmm. Right. You jump in that vehicle, but at the same time, that vehicle has to make you feel good. Right. You have to. We know that there's struggle. We know it's going to be pain because growth is struggle. It's just the way it is, right? You're going to go through some moments, and that don't mean you're unhappy. That just means you're growing through it, right? You're still going towards your passion, but when you're not going towards your passion, that's when the pain makes no sense, right? The pain doesn't even, you're like, man, I'm in pain, and this for what reason? I put up a post one time, Bishop said, hey, you're already in pain. You may as well get something for it. Right? The post should have said, you're already in pain. Why don't you change directions and go the right way and be in the right kind of pain, right? So
that's where you are, though, right there. Nate, sorry to interrupt you, man.
You good?
That's the difference in, man, changing and making a correction.
Right.
We just can't change and expect it to be different. We have to make a correction in our change. Is where it is, and that's a powerful piece right there. Yeah.
I mean, the correction allows you to keep going in the right direction, right? So, guys, the reality of this. Let me get a little feedback. Hold on. The reality of this is, guys, we're talking about the bubble and how you function inside of the bubble and how you need to get yourself right inside of the bubble because so many people have been on this level for so long, right? And they hear people tell them on the outside, well, keep it real. make sure you take people with you. Make sure you do this. Make sure you do that. Everybody's telling you the same thing, but they're on the same level that you're on, right? So all y'all parlaying on the same level, not growing, right? And all the time, what people are trying to do is really they're giving you out of their capacity. They can't give you anything more than what they have. And if they have it, guess what? They would be here. They would be growing. They would be rising. But they're not. Here's the point I wanted to make. When you put a light on the ground, the light shines, right? It shines. But when you put the light up in the sky, it shines brighter. More people can see it, right? And I wholeheartedly believe that that's what God is bringing, is wanted for each and every one of us, is to elevate our own lives, elevate. And that's why we talk about mind, body, and money, right? And when you use that word money, it throws people off. They were like, well, people think money is a bad thing. Oh, I'm good. I don't even need to have that much money. I don't know what I would do with it anyway. I don't know why they need that much money, because you never had it. So you can't talk on anything that you've never done, right? So you can't give a real opinion founded on something that you've never been a part of and done. So when you think about rising and elevating, mental has to happen, mindset. You got to know who you are, discover who you are, uncover it. Guys, when you uncover it, blow the dust away, be like, yeah, that's messed up. That's messed up. I need to recover from that. I need to make the right corrections. And then once I make the right corrections, now I can go forward and dominate in the purpose that God gave me, right? Because it's my passion now. Everything kind of lines up, guys. And when it lines up, now you can really start to elevate. Mentally, you elevate. So now that means if I'm elevating mentally, I want this to be intact, the body, right? This is the part where people start to get upset with Bishop right here. This is the way people don't want it. The mind is cool. We can work on the mind. But that when you start talking about the body thing, people be like, no, because that hurts. There's pain there, right? So the body carries around the blood, the flesh, just like that dust cloud. The dust cloud is a representation of God. If you've never seen it, you'd never thought it was God, right? So your body it has to be in tune. Nobody says you got to be a supermodel. Nobody says you got to be a world-class fitness model, but you do have to take care of the temple that God gave you. If he didn't see fit to give you a temple for you to use it and you to take care of, he would have never gave Adam a body, right? So he gave Adam and Eve a body. So here we are with these bodies that we're not taking care of. Take care of the mind. It houses the body, right? And when you take care of the mind, it houses the body, you start feeling good. Can I get an amen? Anybody that put these two together in their life and start to understand that I'm a better person when I'm putting the right stuff in here, and the right stuff is coming out of here, and the right stuff is going in here.
Nate, if you think about it, if you had to get in your car, no matter what it was, if it was, from a Camry, a Hyundai, Sonata, a Accord, or Benz, whatever it is, but you had to go and give Jesus a ride. You're picking him up at the airport to give him a ride. You're going to try to clean that car up as best as you can and make it look as best as it can look. Well, we have to understand we're supposed to be giving him a ride every day.
Every day.
He rides inside of that body that you're talking about.
Right.
And the thing is, we're trying to control so many things outside of the body. We want to be in charge of everything, make this major decisions on things outside the body, but can't even control a decision on what to put in my mouth. I'm not strong enough to dictate that, but I can tell you, I can control everything it takes to develop a mall project or to build a house or to run a business, but I can't control eating that cake. I can't put that, I can't control that. I can't stop eating that, but, so it lets us know how out of control we can be. And it's evidence right in the body, and like you said, it's that one thing that you're in charge of no matter what. That's the one thing that nobody takes responsibility for but you. And so that's the part of it that you have to do the best you can with it. I do understand that there are situations that causes you, that may say a person, not because you have picked up weight or done something. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about doing things to keep it as healthy as you can. Right. Do your part. And most of us don't do our part in trying to maintain it the best of our ability. And that's all he's asking of us.
Yeah, no, that's it, Bishop, and that's good. And I know people look at me, they'd be like, well, look at his little skinny butt talking about, being healthy and eating the right stuff and this and that. And, but it's the things that we tell ourselves that gives self permission to do things that feel good to us. I always say you can't get healthy because you're a slave to your taste buds, right? Your tongue won't let you be great, because you got to put something in there that tastes good, right? People are like, well, I'm eating this. You want me to lose weight, but food tastes so good. The things that make it taste good are the things that are keeping you unhealthy, right? They're keeping your immune system out of whack, right? Your body can't function the way it wants to function, right? And I know I'm not going to get a whole bunch of love on this one, because this is the part that people feel is going to take the most from them. And I'm first partaker. I'm telling you right now, Bishop, I've been laying around here just like everybody else been laying around. I ain't gonna say everybody, but a lot of people laying around doing this whole thing, not working out like I used to, and all this and that. But man, I had to kick myself in the head the other day. I'm like, I got to go get my butt in the gym, mask and all, and start working out again, or do something around the house, and make sure that you keep your metabolism moving to process the junk out, and keep moving. It's those small steps that you take every day that creates the habits that gives you the success. You're going to wake up tomorrow, looking like, a supermodel. That's not going to happen. And I don't expect that, right? It's a journey for me. When I wake up in the morning, I got to feel good about what I'm putting in my body, And you can indulge a little bit more once you get that routine. Go ahead, Bishop.
Yeah, but again, you have to, a lot of times, I know for me, it needs to be motivation. But man, I picked up so much weight one time, it was ridiculous. It wasn't healthy. So with diabetes, being a diabetic and all of that, we have to get inspirations. Okay, just being healthy sometimes, we'll get to a point where we'll compromise that. No, we ain't supposed to eat it. Well, you know what? You got the one life, and we'll start using the most ridiculous, reasons for doing these things, justifications, if you will, for doing some things. But instead of a justification, replace it with a motivation. And what I mean by that is, if I look at this thing and I can look at that, ice cream, and that's one of the things that was a weakness. I can look at ice cream and say, I'm going to eat this ice cream, but then before I eat it, you know what? I look at my grandbabies and say, you know what? How long are you trying to stay here to be with them? It's more important to do something that's going to give you more time with them, or to go ahead and satisfy this craving that you got, of something that is not going to benefit you in any kind of way. You get different. You replace those type things with motivations for reasons why I don't need to do this. And a lot of us have to build discipline. And that's one of the things I learned from the military, out of everything I got, was to be disciplined when you have to be, when you get to a point. And that's what it is. It tells us, even biblically, from every aspect of man, naturally and spiritually, the Bible says obedience is greater than sacrifice. Yeah. And we have to be able to obey and do the things that we're supposed to do. But we have to understand that how we take care of this temple is representation of who we are, and representation of our fact. Do we have discipline in our lives? Do we have a structured life? Or are we in these places? People can do it, but sometimes you don't get to give them the conversation that goes with it. You'll lose it on just the people who look at the visual and not even talk to you and get the wrong impression and never get to find out how much you got to bring to the table. So it all plays its part.
It does. No, that's good, Bishop. It does. It definitely all plays its part. And I like for somebody to say, it is all about the journey, but it's about what journey you're on. And we get to that point in life where we tend to tell ourselves what we want to hear, and as opposed to the things that we need to hear. And those tough self-talks, as we call them, are necessary in every aspect of your life, not just mentally, but also physically, and financially as well. And the last piece of this is financial. How are you, using what you have in the most productive way, right? How are you using the resources that you have? Most people that I talk to, Bishop, they'll say, well, I don't have the money for this, or I don't have the money for that. And, you know, in my coaching program that's getting ready to get launched, guys, the 3LD lifestyle programs, guys, it basically is going to iron out and discover all of that, right? On what are you doing, not just mentally, not just physically, but what are you doing financially to keep you stuck right now? And most people are learning that they're not spending their money, you know, they're not being good stewards over what they have, I should say, right? So they're spending money on frivolous things as opposed to focusing their finances on the things that are going to help them grow and grow more money, right? So there's just a little piece of it, but there's a much deeper part of the money, much deeper part of the mental and physical as well. But to be a 3%er, guys, doesn't mean that you're a part of the top 3 income earners. This is much bigger than just money, right? This is the totality of what makes you the person that God created you to be, to get where God said you should be. Amen. While you're here on earth, right? And guys, you know, we can go on and on and on and on and on. I can trust me. There's plenty that we can talk about, but I'm gonna let you guys go. And I want to bring out some things, read some things on Bishop's book here, Church in Compromise. For those of you that are just joining, he is the author of this book. I'm gonna read some of the contents for this book in chapters. The chapter is one talks about pastors. Second chapter talks about deceit and deceiving. Okay. Chapter 3 is still being accountable. 4 is know what you are responsible for. Getting to know those who lead us. Chapter 6, no compromise. Chapter 7 is submit, repent, and endure. So guys, I happen to have the paperback copy here, Bishop on the back, and I know y'all ain't gonna get the copy that I got because mine is signed, you know, personally from Bishop himself. So I got mine in person, right? But I went on and bought some more copies and also bought this hardback cover. It's very, very, very sexy, y'all, as I always say, very sexy. So if you guys see this, pull it up. He's on Bishop. Tell them how they can get the book. I know it's on Amazon.
Yeah, it's on Amazon, man. It's at Barnes and Nobles, any major bookstore. You can actually go in if they don't have it in, they order it. But Amazon, most people have bought it a lot from Amazon. So that's the easiest way to grab it.
All right, awesome. Also, Bishop, so guys, go grab the book. Go grab the book. I'm telling you right now, it is a riveting read. I'm telling you, it's gonna shock you. You're gonna hear some things in the book that you probably didn't know. And the book is not like a tell-all, right? He ain't like the masked magician, right? He's telling you guys, he's giving you guys the scenarios on what he's dealt with himself in the ministry as well, with the understanding to help you guys, you know, be able to move along more so with your spiritual life as well. So Bishop, all right, tell us a little bit about the cup, man, and how, you know, when the cup's gonna start back up and how people can be a part of the cup.
Well, what we do, the cup will be back. We're looking at it because the station, we did broadcast it live from the station, and the station is shut down. It's 12 shows that run on the station, and because of it's not a huge station, we've just kind of stopped going in right now with COVID. But we're looking at other avenues, Pastor Sims and myself, on how to do this. And there you go. We're looking at how to do this. So we, you know, my Facebook is Bishop Jeff Battle. It will definitely be broadcasting there. We're looking at doing something like this for now, but any other time it's on jprgradio.com. That's www.jprgradio.com. And it's and we'll definitely, our times were on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. So that's kind of about the cup, you know, what we're doing, but we're going to definitely bring it back to this type of platform as well.
Absolutely. So he's getting so the cup is getting more virtual, coming back to this platform to touch more things. You know, it'll be on YouTube, it'll be on Facebook, be on all of the platforms as well. So guys, definitely catch it. For those of you that didn't get it, if you have any questions about it, make sure that you shoot me a message. Hopefully you wrote it down, but I'll be talking more about the cup when it's going to launch and everything right here on the show, so you guys can be a part of it, because it is absolutely amazing. I know his co-host, you know, Pastor Sims, he's actually he's a very intellectual fella, right? And he knows the Bible forward and backwards, right? Can walk you through those scriptures, man, to apply them to life. So you guys are an awesome duo over there on the cup, man. So guys, thank you guys for being a part of the grind today. I know that you guys learned some things on here because I learned some things on here. So, man, appreciate you guys. Remember, this show happens every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m., right? 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And that's 11 a.m. Central Standard Time and 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I got that right. My gosh, on the first try. So God bless you guys, man. And we hope that you guys come back and join us on Friday. Who knows? We may have another guest, but guess what? We're definitely going to have Bishop Battle back in the house with us as soon as he agrees to come back on. All right. So, man, God bless you guys. And until next time, man, we want you guys to go out and win, man. And no matter what, look at how you're affecting people. Absolutely. Look at how you're growing. Look at what your life is inside the bubble and get a life inside the bubble that you can actually be proud of. That when all of this is over, right? All of this is over, then guess what? You're absolutely going to be proud of the person that you created, man. So God bless you guys, man. And we'll see you guys on Friday, bright and early. I don't have no music for y'all.